Today, in an article in the Chronicle Herald, which I will table, it read that community organizations are left in the dark on Halifax modular housing plan for the homelessness. The executive directors of both Adsum House and Out of the Cold Shelter noted that neither of them had been approached by the province and this minister regarding supports to the two sites. The councillor for the area, Way Mason, also just tweeted out directly to the minister that he needed an answer ASAP, and they had not been in contact with him either. Also today, Mr. Speaker, myself and the Leader of the Opposition met with the YWCA, and we were informed that there has been no official meeting with the minister and her department since they took power, and the YWCA. So the two largest female shelters in all of Nova Scotia have not been contacted by the minister. My question to the minister is, your government is about to release a homeless plan. How do you expect that plan to be accepted when the largest organizations for homelessness have not been consulted? Thank you.
The Honourable Minister for Community Services.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. So first, let's be clear here that our department is in constant dialogue with those service providers that the member has mentioned. We fund those service providers, so there's always
The Honourable Minister for Community Services.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So there's always dialogue happening there. I have personally, and I didn't say yesterday that I have met them directly. I indicated that the department has been in conversations. And the other thing I want to make clear here, the mobile units that you speak about, that is an HRM initiative. We are in discussions. Yes, it is. HRM are purchasing those mobile units, and we will be there, and we're in discussions on how we can provide wraparound services. Thank you.
The Honourable Member for Halifax Needham.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, I would like to keep this going. This line of questioning is very, very, very intense. Mr. Speaker, my question is for the Premier. In the Chronicle Herald this morning, a spokesperson for the Department of Community Services said about modular housing units being built in Halifax that a plan is not ready yet because the province is working with HRM and community organizations to ensure those experiencing homelessness have the supports they need. But Sherry Lecker, Executive Director of Adsum for Women and Children, and Michelle Mallette, Executive Director of Out of the Cold, say they have not heard anything at all, either from the province or from any other organization about what the plan is to provide these services. Mr. Speaker, my question is, will the Premier table a list of community groups that his government is working with to get this moving?
The Honourable Minister for Community Services.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I will inform the members here in this chamber that conversations are happening just as recently as a few hours ago with Mayor Savage. We're continuously discussing with them, and I'd be more than happy to go back to the department and make sure that the member from Halifax Needham is aware of what conversations have been happening with the different service providers. We have 80 in this province that we deal with, and there's conversations happening all the time.
The Honourable Member for Halifax Needham.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On Tuesday, the Premier said that his government has a plan for the housing crisis and that he's ready to release the plan as soon as he's done consulting with stakeholders. But Nova Scotia Acorn, a large tenant advocacy group fighting for healthier homes and better communities, say they haven't heard from anyone in government. Mr. Speaker, will the Premier admit that he's not actually consulting with community organizations about the housing crisis, just delaying much-needed action?
The Honourable Premier.
No, in fact, that's not the case at all, Mr. Speaker. We're very focused on the housing situation, and all those voices of community organizations matter. I don't want to minimize any one of them, but let's be realistic. We have a lot of people we're consulting with. We want more housing supply. First and foremost, we are focusing on increasing the housing supply because the solution to a housing crisis is more supply. And I fully understand that the NDP doesn't respect the principles of supply and demand, and possibly in some cases doesn't understand them, but the real answer is more housing supply, and that's the focus, Mr. Speaker. Thanks so much.
The honourable member for Preston.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In 2014, our government began our healing journey with the African Nova Scotian communities through the School for Colour